Paper Panther is an award-winning animation studio specialising in stop motion. They're known for their unique visuals, use of materials, original storytelling and love of classical techniques. They work with a broad range of clients in film, advertising, television and online content. It was founded in 2014 by Carol Freeman, Evie McNamara and Padraig Fagan. As part of the Design Clonmel project, artist Padraig Fagan visited South Tipperary Arts Centre to talk about the award-winning animation studio.
I'm Padraig Fagan from Panther animation studio in Dublin. Mostly do stop motion animations, kind of our specialty, but other techniques as well. Do a lot of digital work as well. Yeah, I graduated from IADT in 2007, so I made a short film on the left, Frameworks funded short. Then I spent a few years just working in studios and I started doing animation workshops with Evan McNamara, who I worked with on the film I'm about to show you now. I did once I left college. I made a short, The Rooster, the Crocodile and the Night Sky. It's called kind of a fake stop motion film in that the cameras and the programs and stuff just were not affordable at the time that we made it. We built all the characters out of card and painted them up and scanned them piece by piece to the computer and then assembled them in a 2D animation program, Flash. And we kind of incorporated a few different things like some paint on glass animation and some Super 8 footage into the background, so it's kind of a mixed media piece. I'll show you that, sure. So old it's in 4:3.
Once upon a time, there was a rooster. He was a most noble rooster and had a great passion for the night sky and all its wonders. His job was to watch the horizon and announce the coming of the dawn to all the folk of the land. Time passed like this until one night, something strange happened. The rooster bravely gave chase. But it was no use. Without the night sky, everything was askew. Neither the man nor the animals could sleep, and so were becoming completely burnt out and exhausted. Without the moon to guide it, the sea had gone astray and was roaming the land, robbing off licenses. With his community in town and his traditional way of life having been destroyed, the rooster drifted into a spiral of depression and alcohol abuse. One day, whilst wandering around looking for cigarette butts, discovery. And so the rooster set off, following the trail with great curiosity. And so the rooster was triumphant, and he emerged his great joy and peace across the land again. He then set about trying to make things right with the help of his hammer and Tom, his trusty stepper. And so all was well once again, and the rooster and his friends could relax with the cool night sky straight over their heads.
So we made that with Barley Films. It's an animation studio run by Padraig Fagan, and it was a lot of fun to make something straight out of college and a budget. And Barry was a proper grown up who knew about things like money and budgets and so forth, schedules, things like that. So it was a very comfortable production. It's easy for me to say it was a comfortable production. A lot of the credit goes to my colleague Evan McNamara, who done most of the animation and masterminded the technical side of it. He likes to say that I conceived the film, but he gave birth to it. So yeah, that did quite well. It's screened in America, nominated for an Annie Award. How many of you are you guys from animation background or any students? Well, no, just animation enthusiasts. Fans. Okay, that's great. So yeah, then I just hung around for a few years, and then in 2014 we formed this studio, Panther, myself and Evan and Padraig Fagan, and just began. We did a lot of workshop work. We were doing workshops with kids and stuff, and they produced some really nice stuff. I'll show you an example of that. This is from a workshop we did in Kilkenny a few years ago. One of our darker workshops. They were secondary school students transition year.
Do you come up with a whole story and everything in the workshop?
Yeah, it's like one of the first film workshops we did. It was over a few days, I think. Yeah, from 2013. Yeah, that's how we always do it. We have a brainstorming system to generate an idea for the film and then build everything, design characters. Yeah, before I move on, I should show you some of the concept stuff from Rooster. There's an early rooster there. It's made out of cardboard. Yeah, painted card. We found out that there were these boxes of granola bars that took watercolor paint really well. So we ended up buying loads of these boxes of like maple syrup flavored granola bars. And then we had to rip the, wrapping off it, like the shiny, layer of paper on the top, and then use it for painting. It was heavy going on our teeth. We managed it. That's the setup we used for the paint on glass. So the sunrise and the sea. So it's just a matter of photographing the paint, moving it a little bit, possibly wiping away the painting, repainting it over and over again. But yeah, a friend of ours, Arlen McCarty, she animated that. Some more potential roosters there. Yeah, and this was like concept art that we showed to the film board to get the funding to make it. Some character designs. Yeah, we were just trying out a few different things. Some of Evan's drawings. So this is kind of how we built them like this, and then we had scanned them in bit by bit and cut them out in Photoshop and reassembled them in Flash, which we decided afterwards was a bit crazy.
And do you always do it that way, like build them up, or do you ever draw them in one after the other, or do you ever use a program to?
We've never done something like this again because we now have like a proper stop motion setup. So if we were doing that now, we just shoot it under the camera and then like add in the oil paint and that kind of stuff afterwards in post. Like we just shoot it against maybe a green background or something, green screen. So here's an ad that we did for Screen Directors Guild. It's a combination of stop motion and live action.
It came from the dark edge of Europe, a Goliath spawned by decades of experimentation. The perfect fusion of science and magic. Yes, that's right, it's Irish animation. The Screen Directors Guild of Ireland would like to remind you that the Irish animation industry contributed more than 168 million to the Irish economy in the last year, employing more than 2,000 people, winning awards and acclaim around the world. Take it seriously.
Propaganda. So for that, that gorilla was shot against a pink background. Helped a bit in comping, but it was still really awkward. So we ended up with a lot of shadows. We didn't really need like a light box or something.
And with something like that, did the Directors Guild, did they give you a brief? Did they give you, or did they just give you a theme that they wanted?
I don't remember, to be honest. I just remember them asking us about it, and we came up with the idea. So I think they just wanted something that would communicate those figures. So then, I'm not going to screen all of this, but it's quite long and so forth. But I'll screen a few minutes of it. It's just some Irish language horror film I've been making for. It is finished now. It has screened in places, but it still needs to be graded. In scheduling terms, it was a disaster. was a little bit over ambitious. I hadn't made a film since The Rooster, and this was 2014. I got funding for this, and yeah, I just forgot how difficult it was to make a film. So, and we were setting up as a studio, so we were like assembling our multi-plane setups and stuff. Which I'll show you. So this was like stop motion shot flat under the camera, but on layers of glass. So the camera's up here, and then a few layers, so you can get real depth. And again, we were trying to use lots of different materials. Like here, there's a plastic bag here that we're using for this for clouds, basically. These sheep are flat sheep with, I think they're made with some stuffing from a cushion. Yeah, sure, I'll just play a few minutes of this. Some thin film there for a light.
Sui shield yet. Because fun sucker.
That's real shaving foam.
Ke fáin anna tú eisi? Spyr na dhearna na scór noch. Ach nach tú an tasarín gas dílis. Seach an difrig was. Dit na wíú digi a wíú na héad sa fan na tú eisi. Aristid na chatú tishtin was anú. Na bí am a deach. Iet go rúdá. I gór mo wachel. Ta spirit da ekki
We've gone through the whole thing there, but
Do you use an actual camera, or do you use what do you use to actually film it?
oh yeah, it's a camera, DSLR. We have it hooked up then to a computer, so we use a program called Dragon Frame. Or also, a lot of this was shot on Animator HD, which is another more inferior program, really, that has lots of idiosyncrasies. And you get to know it quite well. But yeah, it's basically just a program so that you can shoot it frame by frame. It's by pressing a key on the laptop, so you don't have to press the camera each time, and then it'll play back what you've shot. The other things we used here was. We used Vaseline on glass for fog. So that's just smeared Vaseline being moved bit by bit.
Dit totaal zien man was. Ja, ze staan maar in de ocean, because it hier. Maar dat was een koers over de dag toe. Het doet de heet weer van ons ocean, veel wat hoe kan het gekaart. Dus.
Did you write the story for that?
Yeah, but again, it probably should have been shorter. Yeah, I wrote them both. So some of the close-up heads there, just lying around. So there's a lot of substitutions of the characters to accommodate things like turns or like the talking or dialogue. The bottom jaw was just replaced, the different mouth shapes. They would have been planned out beforehand in Flash, just on a 2D digital animation program, and then we had a die cutter. It's like a printer with a knife that would just cut out the shapes for us, and then we'd take them and paint them with watercolors. We kind of have to cut them out again, but kind of trace it with the blade, and then paint them up with watercolors. So we shot it in color as well, and then switched it to black and white. Yeah, this bird here, I'll show you another clip. For that scene with the bird, there was a hand in there that we had to erase a few frames. Some wire. Here he is, and all those wings were made out of ties from sandwich bags. These little, very thin bits of wire wrapped in masking tape. Oh yeah, there's some substitution heads, and there's the digital planning for it. So yeah, a bit ridiculous, really. So yeah, that was a bit traumatizing, that film, really. So when I got a chance to do something else, I tried to just avoid all of the mistakes I'd made with that one. This was for a documentary series for TG Car that we did with Cartoon Saloon. and I just shot it all in camera. Some of these sparkles here, for example, are just kind of plastic crystals, as beads used in necklaces and stuff. And we wrote this up on a sheet of glass very close to the camera, so they're out of focus. And there's the light shining on, so you get these nice effects. You can just move them a little bit each time to get a sparkly effect. The characters are just very simple, nice blocky kind of shapes, and I avoided any kind of very realistic, dense animation. Just to give it some context, it's a poem by Raftery, and so it's just about Calchimot, where he was from. It's just a poem about how great Calchimot is. He starts listing off all the magnificent things that are there. He says that when he goes there, he feels that he's young again. He lists off all the animals and birds and trees that are there. So I've kind of made him into went for a kind of a rock star kind of a look with a lot of glitter. Images of stuff in progress. So yeah, that was with like a big ball of stuff from a pillow, and it holds like its shape really well. Even better than cotton wool. One of the projects we've been doing recently is did some animation for a trailer for a sand animation film. It's a sand adaptation of Heart of Darkness that director Gerald Conn, he's based in Wales. Gritty Realism Productions is the name of his studio, and he has a background in sand animation. So yeah, we're quite big fans of slightly marginalised animation techniques, and sand animation is just moving sand around on a light box under the camera. shooting it frame by frame. So for these, I'm just going to show you a few clips from this. There was 2D animation that we did as reference beforehand, and kind of see it on the screen along with the sand, so we could kind of trace it. Well, trace it is not the right word. You kind of still have to construct the sand stuff, so it looks okay in terms of how much you use. But it's very helpful. This is kind of a combination here of cutout animation. This is made out of card, and then there's some acetate, painted acetate in the background.
How long did that one shot take?
Oh, I'm not sure. A few days. Anyway.
For a second, for 1 second.
Well, I suppose you have to take into account as well that it was drawn on a computer first.
Yeah.
No, maybe it was just 1 or 2 days. But also we did it in 2 passes. In that we did him first, and then we animated the background separately and put them both together. So those shadows would have had to have been animated to accommodate his arm to whistle. Like the style has changed since this. Quite happy with the way that came out.
Is that also sand animation?
That is sand, and this is like painted acetate, and it's on the light box. So you get a nice glow from the painted acetate as well. And we just have some sand sprinkled on top of it to integrate it a bit. Yeah, and then there was like colour added in post to this scene. And again, it would have been done in a few passes and just come together. This one was quite difficult because of all those leaves. But you can get, fantastic effects out of sand.
It's the lighter areas on his face there. Is that where there's no sand? Or is that where there is sand?
That'll be where there's no sand.
Okay, that's the light coming through from the fire.
So it's a real tone medium. It took me ages to get used to it because I like lines, you're just used to drawing lines. But it's very much, you just have to add more sand if you want it darker, and you're kind of sprinkling sand on top of it, to draw with using a paintbrush and your fingers. This is a fantastic American animator, Caroline Leaf, who's worth looking up. She's made films like The Owl Who Married a Goose. It's one of the famous ones. I'll show you. So this is a short made by my colleague Evan for the same TV series that I did Killagon for. It's sung by Lisa Hannigan, and this would have been animated in Flash. I think it's in Flash, but then backgrounds are like watercolor painted and scanned in. It's a very handmade feel to it. Chris McLaughlin does music for almost all of our work. Amazing. Yeah. It's funded through the same scheme as Variable and the Rooster, Crocodile, Night Skies framework scheme, which is a combination of funding from Film Board and Arcade. So that's qualified for the Oscars, so we have our fingers crossed. Yeah, best of luck. Yeah. Yeah, off the back of that there was got an ad, The Jukes, which you may have seen on television. It involved some painted animation directed by Carol as well.
Bring out the new with Dulux weather shield.
So how did you get into stop motion then? Did they sort of support that for you internally or?
Yeah, it was possible to do it in the way there was like a roster room, and we had a couple of classes, you know, in first year anyway. We did it in first year, and there was always a big emphasis on. There was a class of experimental animation with Steve Woods. He's one of our tutors in IPT, and he's a filmmaker who works a lot with experimental animation techniques.
That was you did a couple of dance films or something.
He made a few dance films as well. He had a rotoscope as well there quite recently.
Is it always what you wanted to do, your own stuff? Did you ever work on anybody else's stuff? Or always made your
I
own?
worked in Cavalier for a while.
Did you?
Yeah.
Kids show with it.
Yeah, it was it's a flash show where I was making props, and yeah, that was nice. I suppose, yeah, I like making films, so any opportunity to make films, trying to do that.
A fantastic body of work now.
Nice.
And are there still the three of you sort of full time with the company and then other people come in, depending on the project? Or?
Yeah, we have like some animators that we work with very regularly. People like, say, Chris, for example, who does the music for almost every compositors. Yeah, we're hoping to kind of get to a point where we can have a more full-time team, you know. Yeah, there's been a few other projects just recently that we're not allowed to talk about yet, at least.
Does it sustain you well, the three of you?
Yeah, well, Evan's been doing some work with Cartoon Saloon recently, and he teaches in IDP as well. But yeah, more or less, you know. I mean, it's always a bit wobbly, you know. It kind of goes up and down, but no, it's been getting better and better.
Do they put much sort of, when you get one of those frameworks, what are the sort of requirements or did they, you know what I mean? Did they,
In terms of,
do they give you a time frame or?
yeah. Yeah, no, you're supposed to do it within the year.
In a year?
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Well, it depends. I mean, it can be done. You know, it's just about scaling the project to the budget and the time available, which I do for that. But I have everything's been fine since then. You know what I mean? All the other projects are grand, and yeah, but it does happen a lot. Like a lot of films, a lot of really good films. Like Coda by Alan Holly. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's a fantastic short. If anyone hasn't seen it, possibly my favorite frameworks. I think. Yeah, I think that was like 2 years, you know, and there's a lot of those ones 2 years. Not Carl worked on hers like for a while, finishing it, you know, like there was a screening in Galway, but it was like a rough cut screening. She kept working on it for another year, really. Yeah, the way they structure the payments is a bit awkward if you're a smaller company.
And did
If you're bigger.
drip feed it out, is it?
Yeah, so if you don't have the cash flow, it can be a bit awkward. I think that it's because they structure it basically based on the live action shorts, which is, I think it's easier. It can be shot easier and so forth, you know, you're paying people for a shorter period of time. Trying to make decisions going forward so that it's less painful, you know. But, you know, we're getting better at those things, you know, and just having a pipeline in mind for different things. We know now how long different things take. Yeah, I still like doing cutout stuff mostly, but I have a better idea of how long it takes or how to design characters and stuff that are more suited for a time scale like that. The same with sound. It's interesting to do some sound.
Anything else?
Thanks very much, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.